The farm can be rather noisy, so I thought outside here, if that's all right with you.
No, it's good. I'm a big fan of the farm.
Thank you.
I like to cook, which is how I built this great golfing body.
Uh-huh.
I always say facetiously, right? Because golfers are only people that can be, 3 million pounds overweight and still do their sport.
Oh, come on.
But if you like to cook, you love fresh stuff. And when we first moved to town, David Bigley was doing like a farm share, and
Yes.
they would deliver it, and it was kind of like one of those cooking shows. You open up the box and you're like, okay, I've got this, and I'm like, all right. I remember it was the first time I'd cooked with leeks. I'm like, what am I doing with all these leeks? And that was pre-Google, so you're like, going through cookbooks trying to find.
Sure. A long time ago. Oh my gosh. Well, that really speaks to your commitment to the farm. Thank you.
Christine came and she's like, oh, we're doing this fundraiser. I'm like, just stop, not a problem. What do you need?
Thank you. Well, we couldn't be going forward without the support of our community. I'll tell you, it's just phenomenal. People have helped us this year, especially with COVID, but any year we have so many members and people that really appreciate the farm, and it does my heart good to hear the stories, how much people really appreciate Holly Hill, and I believe it because I just about live there, and we're all very committed as staff, and we just really appreciate the community support. We couldn't do it without you.
But we're better off with it. Cohasset, if you take away certain things, it becomes like any other town. But not every town has a Holly Hill. I mean, a lot of towns, I know Weston has a community farm, and I'm sure Wellesley has one with the old Honeywell property, but not, otherwise you just become some, if you lose what makes the town special, you just become some other suburb.
Right.
As a real estate guy, I mean, I sell Holly Hill. We drive by, I'm like, and that's, where you get your organic groceries. So some people just roll around hum, and some people just lock in, like,
Sure.
that's like having a good school system.
That's right. Well, and we're in the school system as well. So if your kids go to school in Cohasset, they come to Holly Hill Farm, or we have a garden in their school. So
I have, unfortunately, we've graduated from the school system, although I have nothing but good things to say about the schools. That, it's just that it being a small school system, it works much better. The kids don't get lost. The kids are not a number. They did a study last year or the year before, and that everybody in the building in the middle high school felt as if they had at least one teacher they could go to if they had a problem.
Wow, that's really incredible. That's wonderful news, to have that support, because the kids really need it. These are confusing times.
Yeah, this COVID thing, it's welcome to pass. I won't miss it.
None of us will. And I feel I'm not working in a hospital or on an ambulance or, on the front line. So farming is close enough, with being able to produce healthy food for our community is just, I appreciate it so much with what our farmers do.
Yeah, so I was at the farmer's market yesterday, and I bought, the small basket of peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And I went 2 doors down and I bought a huge bag of scallops for $20. It was the best deal ever. And then I did them in a shish kebab last night. So I just took the whole pepper, it's about the size of my thumb, and skewered it on with a little olive oil and some Cajun spice. And, it was yummy.
Were they the little wrinkly shishito peppers?
No, I didn't have the chutzpah to buy those.
Those are not hot. Every 1 in 10 is warm. So don't be afraid to buy shishitos. They're delicious.
Well,
I would try it. It's not like a jalapeno at all.
Okay, I wasn't sure. And she said 1 in 10, but the other ones I had a vision for. I'm kind of like somebody's old Italian grandmother. I go to the farmer's market, find out what's for sale, and figure out what I'm going to make for dinner.
Sure, that's the old-fashioned way of doing it. It's great.
It's cooking is how I relax. Some people hate to cook, but at the end of the day, for me, You
Mhm.
know, at 7 o'clock, my phone stops ringing with people's issues with, because most people deal with their real estate. Like first thing when they get to the morning, they call me, and at the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
between 4 and 7, I'm on the phone a lot, and
Okay.
so it helps me sort of end the day. Like, okay, work's over here, and it's gone, and I can. It's instant gratification, right? Spend 20 minutes in the kitchen, and then you've got dinner, or sometimes an hour, depending on how creative I get.
So
So when you're
relaxing.
starting with good stuff, it's fun. And this time of year, there's so much fresh.
That's
You,
right.
you,
You ever order online from our Thursday online system? Have you done that, Bill?
we've had the best of intentions to try it, and then on Thursdays we forget.
Well, it's open till midnight. So the only downside to that is you may not get the greens if you're not in there between 10 and 10:30. But if you go to the farmer's market, you'll get the greens. And then there's a whole lot of other crops that you may not get. They don't bring everything to the farmer's market. So there's a lot of products that we sell that are delicious, locally made products that I think you might like if you do choose to go online. So you just have more products available to you online. And then you drive in, we put it right in your car, you drive out. So it's very easy.
Hmm. Right, we're gonna I have to make a note in my calendar to do that.
Okay.
Because we used like it was one of our Saturday stops is go over to the farm and figure out
We,
what vegetables we can get there, and then
yeah,
go to the store.
we miss it terribly. We miss having our community with us and talking, and the dogs and the kids, and it's hard, but we're making it work, and it's not the best, but it's better than nothing. And our farmers are healthy, and we have new farm managers this year, Sophia and Derek, who are phenomenal, and they are working so hard. Imagine in this heat and no water, very little water.
It's got to be a tough summer to be outside.
Tough summer, but they are farmers. They love it. So it's not one of those jobs that you can do halfway. You either love it or you can't do it. So
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, it's if you're passionate about your work, it's not work.
isn't that true I'm sure that's true in real estate, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I enjoy what I do, but I have to enjoy who I'm working with. And some people, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And I'm just like, you know what? Have you met my colleague? Just because it's not worth it to me. Like I sold a home, or we closed on a home this week up on Fair Oaks, and a young couple, and they are so excited to move to Cohasset and to go to Sandy Beach and Holly Hill, and their daughter's going to go to the community center, and I mean, that's what's fun. I mean, it's exciting. It's a new and huge chapter of their life.
Sure.
And it's exciting. That's what I like. Showing a house, going, oh, isn't this a great kitchen? That's kind of boring.
Oh, that's
So, Christine has wrangled me into being a sponsor, which we talked about early. Let's talk about that so that we can get the word out for the $125 raffle ticket.
Sure. So last year we had our first gala, which was a fundraiser, and we had over 200 people at the farm, and we had a wonderful online auction. We had a live auction. We had food. We had a beer tent. We had organic wine. We had a food truck. We had a chef, and it was just an amazing evening. VPNE was able to give us the way to have people park at Sandy Beach, and so all the parking was there, and they ferried people to the farm. It was a perfect evening. We cannot do that this year. So our gala, put together by our fundraising committee, they thought up, how can we have people still come to the farm and still enjoy what we do and get the word out about what we do? So we're having a raffle ticket for $125 that you could win a private dinner for 10 at Holly Hill Farm outside. So social distancing allowed, no worries for being safe at the farm with your friends, your pod, for the farmers, for the chef, for everybody there. And for every 75 tickets that we sell, we will choose one winning ticket for a dinner at the farm. So, so far the ticket sales have been brisk, And we're hoping to have those dinners scheduled in September and October, obviously, because it's going to get cold at some point. But a tour of the farm once you're there for the dinner, go down into the growing field, see the bounty of how the vegetables are grown, the flowers that are still blooming in September and October, meet the animals. Some of our staff, of course, will be there, and then have a lovely, intimate dinner for 10.
That sounds like Nirvana to me. I'm trying to figure out how I can stack the deck to make sure I win.
Of course. And music too.
Other than buy 75 tickets.
There you go. We will sell as many as you would like to buy, Bill.
So I'm sort of glad to help get the word out on this, and obviously, a sponsor of the event, because to me the farm is, as I said, is so important. And you were awesome to spend a couple minutes with me and just talk about this and how important it is, because I know the farm has had its challenges with, I can't go there, as we said on Saturday, to go shopping. And I know the kids' programs have been curtailed.
They have. Camp. We really miss the kids. I mean, we see 7,000 kids a year at the farm.
Do you really?
And at schools. So our educational program is very robust, including our camp program, which we've done for many years. We still this summer were able to do the farm to food pantry program with teens, which is a really valuable program where the teens volunteer their time. They come to the farm between 9 and 12 every day, and they work in this specific garden that is solely for the purpose of growing food for the local food pantries. So these kids get out there in the hot sun and they work and they weed and they plant and they harvest and they wash, and then they get to bring that food to the local food pantries, and it makes a difference in their lives. They see what they're doing to make a difference. And that's a fabulous program that we still have the kids coming for. We also will be setting up some programs this fall. We have a homeschool group that comes. We're hoping to do some field trips, but schools right now are still figuring out how they're going to do field trips. And we also have gardens in 40 area schools. So our farm teachers go out to the school with specific curriculum for different grade levels, where they will teach the kids out in the farm garden at their school, whatever the seasonal activity is. And some schools even allow the kids to bring the food inside and then either cook roasted potatoes or garlic bread, or they'll cook whatever they've grown, and understand where that food comes from. Then we hope to have those same kids come to the school and get to see the farm on a larger scale and see how food is grown for a community and not just in a small raised bed garden at their school. It's very impactful.
Yeah, I mean, understanding locally sourced is, first of all, it's better for you, but understanding the challenges, helps you sort of bridge the gap in the increase in price.
That's right. Exactly. Well, and talk about fresh. If you get something that's shipped from California that was probably harvested before it was ripe, it's sent a lot of food miles to here. How does that taste? I don't care how much refrigeration it gets. It's not the same quality of food. First of all, some of it's not organic. A lot of it's not organic. And there is a huge difference. And we are certified organic, which is a bigger process. Some people say we're naturally grown. But the certification process is very intense. It's very specific. It takes a lot of time. And we do that on purpose because we know that's the way for you to have the healthiest food you can possibly get. So,
as the cook, it's all about the flavor to me.
There you go.
But going forward, and especially after COVID, I think people really need to have a better understanding of why locally sourced is better. From an economic point of view to a flavor point of view.
Exactly. Well, you're supporting your local economy, which, to know your farmer, we have people that know our farmers and our staff, and that connection is very important to them and to us. And I think missing that community this year, even though we get to see people driving in and picking up their produce on Saturdays, we get a lot of signs in the windows of people saying, we love you, we miss you, but everyone's got a mask on. It's still behind a glass door. It's just not the same. And we're hoping that soon things will be different. We know they will be in time. But the quality of the food that you're picking up is still the highest quality you can get, and we know it's delicious.